So we come back to the empowerment, and there's generally 4 levels of empowerment. And now we have received the empowerment of enlightened body, speech, and mind. And we have received the empowerment of the body. The ordinary grasping at the body, the dualistic grasping at physical form, is cleared away, is purified, and the body transforms into a rainbow-like body. So that is when there is no grasping at form, then all appearance becomes clear and empty like a rainbow. And then, having received the speech empowerment, all grasping at sound and the truth of the sound that we hear, and the dualistic grasping at sound has become purified through the power of the mantra. Normally when we hear ordinary words, worldly conversation, then these words, this sound, places an imprint into our mind constantly, just like snowflakes falling down and growing thicker. And the sound of the mantra, on the other hand, purifies these habitual imprints, these fixations in the mind. And when there is no more grasping at sound, then all sound naturally becomes the sound of the mantra. Sound is empty of self-nature. And so in this way, gradually, as you slowly purify the grasping at form and sound, the mind becomes increasingly clear, more and more clear. And the more you purify your mind, the more clear the mind becomes. First, when you cultivate immeasurable love, self-grasping disappears. And then when immeasurable compassion arises, the mind becomes increasingly clear. And then in the end, when you realize the true nature of the mind or the view, then all dualistic thought collapses. In the 37 Bodhisattva practices, it says in the verse on the ultimate truth, appearances are one's own mind, or the way things appear is one's own mind. And that mind itself is like space. So when one has realized that, one still sees all phenomena of samsara and nirvana and self and other, but not from a dualistic state of mind. One sees the suffering of sentient beings who have not realized that. And one experiences the great bliss of having realized that. So one views sentient beings who have not realized that temporarily with an illusion-like compassion. With illusion-like compassion, one views illusion-like sentient beings. So we spoke before about the impure illusory body. Sentient beings are this impure illusory form, like temporary ice blocks floating on the ocean and experiencing illusion-like suffering, when actually their mind is like space or like water. And so one who has realized that their compassion is there effortlessly and naturally, without any bias. There is no concept such as I have compassion for this one but not for that one. Actually, the higher your realization of the nature of mind, the greater and more unbiased becomes your compassion. And in the end, it becomes completely unconditioned, unobjectified. And that is when you finally realize emptiness. And it is that this emptiness has compassion at its core. This is also how it is explained in the context of, for example, the Circumambulation practice. The life force of his heart is this innate union of emptiness and compassion. Emptiness is the realization that self and other do not exist separately. And then that is infused with compassion. And out of this compassion then emerge the manifestations of the Sambhogakayas and the Nirmanakayas. And so then later when you receive the empowerment and the Dharma is placed onto your crown, think that then from the Dharma 5-colored light radiates and it enters your crown and then pervades your entire body. And so think that in this way then you have received the entire empowerment and all the enlightened qualities of the deity and also the enlightened activities to benefit all those beings who come into any sort of contact with you. Those who see you with their eyes or hear their ears or touch your body. Anyone who comes into contact with you will be benefited as you have been sealed with bodhicitta. So think that you have obtained this ability, these enlightened activities, and think now I have become just like that. And actually this is also represented by this liberation by seeing mantra, which we have printed on the t-shirts, for example. Because once you have that on your body, wherever you go, you naturally become just like that. As you mentioned before, whoever you meet, whoever sees you and hears of you, you benefit them naturally. Whether they're beings with a body or beings without a body, just naturally, anyone who comes into contact with that or sees this mantra will purify the negative karma accumulated in 300 million aeons. And this is the aspiration of the Buddha himself. And also wearing this and having this on you is a sign, I am a Sangha. And it reminds you also to remain inseparable from the vision of the deity or the Om Hum Vajra recitation. And just naturally, wherever you go, you benefit beings. It's like you're melting them, like the morning sun melts the morning frost. So think that I have become just like that. And this actually that also constitutes the Samaya, which is one of patience. And with a patient mind, you sustain loving kindness, love. That is the essence of all secret mantras, Samaya. It is said the life force of the empowerment is to keep the Samaya. And that really is love. So that which has to be kept, that which has to be practiced is love. That is what will go with you in all future lifetimes. And we can see that, for example, there is some little children, when they are born already, they immediately laugh, they smile a lot, and they let others touch them, and they are not so afraid, and they have fewer illnesses. And that is because they bring with them that continuum of bodhicitta from previous lives. When there is this continuum of bodhicitta present, then naturally one will not have so much fear. All those who experience a lot of fear have a lot of self-grasping. So this is the bodhicitta, this continuum of bodhicitta that you bring with you from now on in all future lifetimes until you attain enlightenment. And what is enlightenment? It is what is termed Sangye in Tibetan, and Sang means to have cleared away all self-grasping. There is no more dualistic thought. It's all cleared away. And Gye, the second syllable, means vast or expansive. So then when there is no more dualistic thought, no more duality, then the mind becomes vast like space. And so think in this way when you receive the empowerment. And now there's not enough room for, Rinpoche said, for me to come down to give the empowerment, so you can come up to receive the empowerment in a way of circumambulating the mandala. And while we do that, while you come up to receive the empowerment, we will recite the dedication prayers of the new yellow prayer book, which our Omse will lead. And once you have received the empowerment, you are free to leave for this evening. And some of you might have come from far away and you have to leave a little bit early. So once you have come up to receive the blessing of the empowerment, then you are free to leave. When you go out, go around the mandala. You can also circumambulate the stupa, and then you are free to leave. Can come up slowly, line by line. So come around in this way, so you're walking clockwise around the mandala.
excelled path. May they attain the Vajrakilaya's ground. By the heart of virtue actually performed and mentally created by myself and all sentient beings of the three times, may all beings of the 6 realms attain 5 kayas and realize the primordial wisdom of the Buddhas in the Dharmadhatu mandala of the awakened mind. Glorious Guru, precious one who sits upon the lotus at my heart, hold me with kindness and grant me all accomplishments of enlightened body, speech, and mind. I pray for the excellent health of the Guru. I pray that he lives a supremely long life. I pray that his activities spread far and wide. Grant blessings that I may not be separated from my Guru. May the Buddha's teachings, the only source of benefit and happiness, endure long, and may the victory banner of longevity for those upholding the teachings be steadfast. May the sound of the great Dharma drum liberate all sentient beings from suffering. Please remain and teach the Dharma from infinite millions of kalpas. By the might of this powerful merit, may the aspirations of benefactors and their circles be accomplished within this very life. May their obstacles be pacified. May everything be auspicious, and may their wishes be fulfilled according to the Dharma. Just as the hero realize things as they are, as it is Samadhi too, I will follow in their path and perfectly dedicate all these virtues. As all such dedications have been praised as supreme by the victorious ones of the 3 times, I fully dedicate all my roots of virtues to excellent conduct. By the blessings of the Buddhas who attained the 3 kayas, by the blessings of the truth of the unchanging nature of reality, and by the blessings of the undivided Sangha community, may my prayers be fulfilled according to this dedication. By the virtues accumulated in the 3 times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the intrinsic root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious awakening. Great Vajrakilaya, Tilopa, Naropa, Marva, Milarepa, Dharma Lord Gampopa, Vajrakilaya, and Lord Trigupa, may the auspiciousness of all Kalpas prevail. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind root and lineage Gurus, the divine assembly of Vedams, assemblies of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, heroes and heroines, Yogini and her assembly of Dakinis, all of you dwelling in the 10 directions, please heed me. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all the needs of my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of attachment, hatred, ignorance, pride, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May thoughts of fame, reputation, respect, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and may I become the spiritual master of the good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. At the moment of death, may I not experience the suffering of being abruptly severed from this life. May I not suffer a terrible death. May I not die confused by wrong views. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind itself, and in the crystal clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the world. For this realm, encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of benefit and happiness, Tenzin Gyatso. Lord Chenrezig, may you remain steadfast until the end of samsara. Embodiment of the 3 jewels, great being who upholds and increases the teachings of Vajrakilaya. Supreme are your activities of guiding others with your perfect deeds. May you, the precious Guru, who accomplishes everything spontaneously, live long. Holder of the teachings great Lord of the three jewels, through the power of your fearless compassion, the holy Dharma's peace and light, you bring relief to beings. May your life be long. The one known in the noble land as Arya Deva, emanated in the Gar clan of eastern Tibet as Chodikpa, the heart son of Jigten Rinpoche. May the life of the glorious Garchen remain steadfast for 100 aeons. Crown the Shakyas, find friend to strangers, the 17 great Panditas, Tilopa, Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, Gomhopa, Jigten Sungun, and their lineage heirs, please bestow good fortune and auspiciousness. Protector Amitayos, transcendent Lord who grants supreme life, everlasting, stable, and unchanging, who diverts from untimely death anyone who merely hears your name or thinks of you, please bestow good fortune and auspiciousness. Living austerity in the higher trainings of discipline, full of compassion that is the glory of those to be tamed, devoid of all grasping, never parting from Mahamudra's natural state. Nedum Kempanima, son of the teachings, may your life remain firm. May the teachings of the great Trikumpa Ratna Shri, Master of Interdependence, omniscient Lord of the Dharma, who has seen all noble things, be upheld until the end of cyclic existence, through study, practice, hearing, contemplation, and meditation. Your 1,000 arms are the 1,000 wheel-turning kings. Your 1,000 eyes are the 1,000 Buddhas of this fortunate aeon. Your love is boundless like space. I supplicate to the Bodhisattva Chenrezig. By this virtue, may I swiftly accomplish Lord Chenrezig, and may I bring all beings without exception to that state. May Bodhicitta, the precious and supreme mind, arise in whom it has not yet arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but ever increase, higher and higher. Emaho, in the center of the wondrous Buddha of boundless light. To his right is Chenrezig, the Lord of great compassion. To his left is Vajrakilaya, the Bodhisattva of great might. They are surrounded by an inconceivable assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, immeasurable peace and happiness in the pure land of great bliss. When I and all beings pass from this life, may we be born in that pure land, unhindered by another samsaric birth, and may we behold the face of Amitabha, boundless light. May all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions bless this aspiration, and may it be accomplished without hindrance. Kaya ka panta riya awa bodhe naya soha. Namo Shri Manjushriye. From out of the deep and open sky expanse of all that can be known, the light rays of your wisdom mandala shine, dispelling the dark shrouds of ignorance for infinite beings. Homage to you, Lord Manjushri. You are my only refuge, from now until I attain the heart of awakening. Wherever I am born in the 6 realms of samsara, by the force of my karma, protect me from the dreadful cycle of existence, Manjushri. When it comes time to let go of the components of this life and to part from my beloved relatives and friends, the awesome, terrifying Lord of Death will come and take me. At that time, protect me from the horrors of the Lord of Death, Manjushri. If in the bardo of becoming, through the force of evil karma, gathered since beginningless time, the powerful winds of my mental afflictions move to carry me away to the miserable state so difficult to bear, restrain these winds of my afflictions, Manjushri. When the time comes for my bardo consciousness to transition to the future life, provide the auspicious circumstances for me to utterly transcend the 8 unfree conditions, and to ensure my rebirth as a noble being who upholds the perfect Nibbana of the Buddha's teachings, Manjushri. In my future life, when I have gained the fortune and free body ornamented with the supreme 7 attributes of higher birth, provide me with the auspicious circumstances to meet the spiritual friend who upholds the Dharma perfectly, Manjushri. Having fully understood the eloquent ocean of the Buddha's teachings imparted by that spiritual friend, compassionate and skilled in meaning, may I be granted the discerning wisdom that enables me to teach it to others, Manjushri. Bringing only benefit to others throughout all my lives, may I be endowed with perfections, such as giving freely without stinginess, and meditating in absorption with an undistracted mind, Manjushri. Although I wish to gaze upon the snowy mountains of the Buddha's teachings, the moonlight that cools the fierce heat of samsara, I am sinking in a swamp of laziness and distraction. Please come quickly and hold me with compassion, Manjushri. Although I long to fully dedicate myself to the path of the profound view and travel to the isle of perfect liberation, I am a miserable being fettered by samsara's ropes. Cut the bonds that tie me to samsara, Manjushri. Although I wish to surrender my selfish aim for the perfect peace that is like the Buddha flower garden, and though I long to see the splendid lotus grove of the victorious ones, my mind is clouded by veils of ignorance. Remove these veils, Manjushri. In brief, in all of our future lives, please establish myself and all beings in the ocean of Buddha Dharma. Be a wish-fulfilling jewel for me and all beings, the source of all of their hopes, Manjushri. Through the power of this supplication, may the great ship of the too-powerful twofold accumulation carry all beings across the ocean of samsara. To accomplish this, may I become like you, Manjushri. From this time onward until awakening, teacher Lord Manjushri, the light rays of your supreme knowledge lovingly dispel the dark ignorance of my mind. Please grant me the brilliant wisdom of your grace. May the actions of myself and others emulate the noble conduct of Manjushri. Through Manjushri's kindness, may I always recollect my former lives and embrace the life of a renunciate until I reach the ground of perfect joy.
received this auspicious empowerment, and Garchen Rinpoche has asked me to talk a little bit about the big new project we have going on here, which is to create more buildings. So all of you who are here have more places to stay, and the mandala can better serve everyone who wants to be here. And so I have set up a television in the back, and I'll talk a little bit first about the project, and then it's difficult with everybody. There's no perfect solution for a visual, but I'll have these images up in the hallway, so you all can look at them later if you can't see from your seat. But Garchen Rinpoche asked about a year ago that we expand the buildings we have here. And he really would like this mandala to better serve. So many people have been working on this project to fundraise for it, and there have been some extraordinary donors and many people who are giving from their heart and making great effort to fulfill Rinpoche's vision and wish for all of us. He's always only thinking of us and how we can better be served so our practice is stronger and we are enlightened more quickly. So what this project entails is what I'll be listing is in the order in which things will be built. And so you may have noticed we've started expanding our sidewalk outside the bookstore, and we've moved our propane tanks, and we're getting ready for the covered walkway to be built that will be in between the bookstore building and the dining hall. And we're getting a custom tunnel also created that we can easily assemble for our Yamataka Drupshins. And so that whole tunnel system will be much more easy to do, and we're really excited about it. So that covered walkway should be completed by the end of this year if we don't have any obstacles. And then the next building will be a new office and bookstore on the top floor with a film editing room where we can properly edit Garchen Rinpoche's teachings and the other lamas' teachings that happen here. And the lower level, there will be 5 new rooms for guests and staff to stay in, with a common kitchen, and there will be 3 bathrooms in that building. It will be really wonderful, and that will be located right where this parking lot across from the current office is. There's a shed there right now. So that excavation will start January 2020. And we hope to have that building completed by December 2020 if we don't have any obstacles. So, and then the bathroom renovation. So the current building where there are bathrooms, that will be expanded. And so there'll be, wait for it, 6 toilets in the women's room. And not as many in the men's, but that's appropriate. And then we've got a new staff bathroom that will be built in the work-study space. and there'll be septic expansion for that, and then there'll be a new yoga studio.
Wow.
Really excited about this building. It will be 8-sided, just like our main stupa, beautifully designed and located with an incredible vast ocean view where it will be really special to practice in that space. And there'll be a small room outside the yoga studio that is going to be built for Garchen Rinpoche, and that he will stay in that room for future yamatakas. There will be a covered walkway that connects from the yoga studio into the other covered walkway, and it will all link up. And so for future yamatakas, Garchen Rinpoche will have a proper bed to sleep in and his own bathroom right there. And the yoga, yes. The yoga studio will be converted for sleeping during the Yamataka Drupchen, so it is Rinpoche's wish that more people be able to sit the Drupchen, which means we need an alternate sleeping space for all of our Yamataka practitioners. So that's what the yoga studio will serve, is that dual purpose. And then, of course, we are going to need a new solar system to power these additional buildings. Our existing one will continue to serve the entire campus the way it does, but we do need another solar system. And then we've had, as you can imagine, architects and engineers and all kinds of permits and surveyors and so forth that we've had to hire to get this project done. We've got a great team, and we're really moving forward now. And then, so all of that totals $1,245,000 to accomplish all of those structures. And so far we have raised $681,000. Extraordinary generosity of devoted students, so I can't thank everyone enough for how this is forming. And so 563,759 remains. So we are well on our way. All donations are tax deductible, and we have gifts for various levels of donations. And then the other exciting news is that there is a benefactor and a few others, one major benefactor and a few others that really have the wish and vision to make this place as much of an outer Pure Land as possible. We already know it is on an inner level, and so our driveway is going to be paved with concrete.
Wow.
So it will be environmentally friendly material. We're not using asphalt, and so this is quite extraordinary, and that will happen after all of the building is complete. So that is, that's the vision, and if I'm going to move to the back of the room, and I know everybody can't see, but as I said, these will be visible in the hallway later. But this is an overview of, so right now we're in this temple over here on the right, and that is the current office building. And this is the covered walkway that will first be constructed between the office, bathroom building and the dining hall. And then this is the new yoga studio here. And then that is Rinpoche's room there. And then here is the new office building. This is the top floor here, and then the bottom floor here. The top floor will be at the same level as the current office building because we're going to really excavate into the land there. So we're going to drop it down. So it's really congruous and not overpowering any other structure. And so here's another angle. You can see the entrance to the new office building and bookstore will be over here. And then that lower level is where the housing is below. And these are the covered walkways and the yoga studio and Rinpoche's new room. And here's another angle. You can really see the lower level of where all of the new guest rooms will be. So they'll be handicap accessible for those who need the proximity to the central hub. And that's it. So okay, now Will's going to talk a little bit, very quickly. I know everybody's blissed out and maybe hungry.
Thank you. As you can imagine, I'm here to try and fundraise. Sorry. I wanted to talk about the raffles for the prayer wheel and the stupa that are in the hallway. And these are for the building project. And there are many, many people here who've helped with the Garchen Institute over the decades. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm sure it's a source of joy to you as well. And these raffles, I'd encourage you to think of it as a way to help continue to form the groundwork of Garchen Rinpoche's Dharma on this continent. And if you win it and it's too big for your house, you can donate it to your Dharma Center, which is what I'm going to do if I win it. So. Anyway, the prayer wheel was made by this fellow, Paul Wisdom, who built the new prayer wheel that we just consecrated yesterday. He donated it to the Garchen Institute. And as you can see from his work out there, he's a master. And it's a beautiful prayer wheel. If you do get it and you want to put mantras in it, it has no mantras, I can help you with that. We reformatted all the 19 different mantras that we practice here at the Garchen Institute so that they're exactly right for our lineage and clean and properly done, so we can help with that. Anyway, I thank you for listening and encourage you to please, and if you can only get by one raffle ticket, the merit is good. If we all contribute our merit, large or small, it'll happen. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, so whichever group gets to you first.